Yo, what's up guys, back here with some regional deck profiles, and this is Fluffal Zombie. Yeah, Fluffal Zombie. It got 6th, I believe, at a regional in England this past weekend, with ABC's being a thing, I guess. So I will have the tournament report in the description for you to read if you like, because I'm just not going to read through that. It's way too long for this video, but I will read out some of the explanations, which is actually just as long. So I'll just get into it. Actually, I should probably mention some of the cards here first, since you might not recognize some of them. Garnet, Fairy Tale, I mean, these are pretty recognizable. This is Shiranui, Chief Priest, and yeah, that's about it. I think you should really know what most of these cards are just by looking at them. This one is Rise to Full Height. Target one face-up monster in the field, double its defense, but its defense becomes 0 at the end of this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target one monster you control. Monsters your opponent controls cannot attack for the rest of the turn except to attack that monster. Well, I hope that's mentioned in the explanation, because I don't know why that's there. So, Brilliant Fusion is MVP, and I opened it roughly 12 out of 19 games, and draw it off Fluffal Wings, engine in 2 of the games. I didn't draw it. Full Height lock is sinister and doesn't cause bricks in this deck at all. So apparently there's a lock with this. Speedroid engine acts as superglue, as you can use the pieces to extend Omega boards as well as give you access to rank 3s, which prove to be relevant both in terms of making swarm plays and having them there as Reaper targets versus PK Fire. The guy who beat me went on to win the event. Side decking was peak all day, I think that's how English people say good, and never caused me any problems consistency wise. I only quote unquote bricked once, which was the game I double reaped. I could still play using zombies. Mizuki reviving Reaper for a synchro summon helped me attempt to play, but I was only able to Black Rose his board, and he continued to chip my life points to death with small cards, as I couldn't top deck any power cards and would have had to deal with the Fog Blade as well. I feel this is a fairer and more consistent alternative to Dark Synchro. You only really make 2 Omega, but can do it easily, and you have alternative draw engines, the desires that actually complement other aspects of the deck, and you have more long game longevity, as the zombies can carry you, and the Fluffal engine essentially searches one another until you drop the zombies and the synchros they bring with them. The speedroids add to the potential of the deck, and Terror Top paired with Gold Sart means you can kickstart either of your Shiranui or Fluffal engines to get the ball rolling, and again rank 3s became very relevant for Reaper as well as ABC Dragonbuster. Fairy Tale Snow is super good, recurable Book of Moon that works in both turns and can be easily fueled by the Fluffal engine drawing your resources, and Brilliant Fusion providing almost half its summoning cost alone. Normal summon, NS versus Buster Spirit Dragon, and they're forced to tag out. What is NS? Normal summon? I'm not sure what that is. Maybe the Fairy Tale thing. NS versus Buster / Spirit Dragon, and they're forced to tag out, and Shenanigans with Shanui, Solitaire and Spirit Master are very strong. Scrap Dragon and Shogun Saga come up for good spot removal. Came up game 1 versus PK Fire and game 1 versus Blue Eyes matchup. Speedroids make Levier, and that is very strong because it adds swarm potential, which with zombies is a very strong bonus. You can make Dante if your hand is only half good, and Mill depending. You can go off or decide what your best play is without needing to sacrifice the normal summon too early. Also, it gives you access to Break Sword, which is strong removal, and you can pop your dead Brilliant Fusions for free pops, or pop Toy Vendor and their cards so you still get advantage while dealing with the opponent's threats. I used to run Trish because Terror Top Unizombie is a 2-card Trish going second, but with the advent and popularity of ABC, I felt Trishula was both bad in the matchup, as they'd snipe the resources before you got to it, and only good going second when almost every deck's instinct is to win the dice roll, make its own play. Breaksword and Castell are easier to access, and both came clutch in Trishula's place, so did not regret cutting the Trish. A lot of combos will result in double Omega. Most are 2-card combos, but require a dud card to drop for Unizombie. The Fluffal engine serves as a draw engine to get you to those cards, and also gives you bodies to level up using Unizombie. 3 and 5 is as good as 4 and 4, for example. Well, that's a pretty good explanation, I'd say, for this deck. I can kind of understand how it works. Just not too sure about some ratios here, like why there's only 2 Gold Sark instead of 3. Other than that, it does look like a pretty solid build. I think if you're not playing Desires, I would honestly just play 1 Garnet. And just take the loss to opening it, because whatever. Go big or go home, right? But yeah, this is your Fluffal zombie deck. Seems pretty cool. I'm actually gonna give this a whirl sometime. So like I said, the full tournament report, if you want to read how we did through each round, is in the description, so have a read at that. Otherwise, I will be off, and hope you guys enjoyed. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time.